What's up, guys? So this is a long-awaited video, as you guys can tell by the title. So as you guys know, my Cobra spits flames like, a little bit, here and there. A lot of you guys wonder how I do this, if I just rev the car a lot and it just does it. Nah, it was not that easy. So the first thing is, I'll flip back to some of the clips as I'm talking, but a few months ago, me, Abraham, and Joel had installed a two-step watt box on the Cobra. It's an N2MB watt box. I'll link it down below. And it pretty much works for any car. Like, you look at the list and it's legit just any car you can put it on. Obviously the point of a two-step is to launch at the track and get consistent times and whatnot. You can have fun with it. I don't like to use a two-step that much because it can cause havoc on your timing components, but it's really good for spitting flames. So today I'm gonna show you guys how to do that. So like I said before, this can pretty much apply to any car. The watt box can work with a list, like a really big amount of cars. It really is compatible with anything pretty much. I don't know what car isn't, but most cars are. So, It's Just a 6 had just installed one on his car. And like I was saying, It's Just the 6 installed one on his VMP 5.0, and he was having some problems with it. I really haven't experienced too many problems, and I haven't really taken it to the track and tested it. But with the two-step, it comes with a no-lift shift feature, and it's really cool because basically this allows you to stay on the gas the whole time and essentially power shift. And because of that, you guys will get quicker shifting times. And also, this was the primary feature that I really wanted, was the no lift shift feature, because it makes shifting so much easier and you can have so much more fun with it. And sometimes in between shifts, it spits flames. So that's also a plus. Now, when installing the two-step, it's a little bit complicated. I'm not really good with wires, so make sure you have a friend that knows what they're doing with wires and how to splice and whatnot. Other than that, it's a pretty simple install. Like I said, I'm not really good with that stuff, but if you have a friend that knows what they're doing, then it's really easy. So the big question is, how do I make the Cobra spit flames? I'm gonna take it out later tonight maybe, or whenever this video goes up at nighttime, but pretty much it's a lot of footwork. I couldn't figure it out for the longest time. So N2MB provides software to program the actual watt box. I have mine located in the glove box. As you can see, it's the blue thing right there. And I just let it sit there. You guys can mount it up, do whatever you want, make a fancy setup with it, keep it in there. But mine kind of just hangs. Anyways, so basically it only works on PC, no Mac, I'm pretty sure. You get the software. You can also make the no lift shift cut ignition for X amount of time. I have it on auto because when I was doing the certain amount of time and it went too fast, I would miss the gears because it cut ignition not long enough for the amount of time I was shifting. So I don't really like that. The auto feature works really good, and it makes shifting, like I said, a lot more buttery. And then a lot of you guys ask, what is my setup time-wise on the software? Now, I'm gonna pull it up in a little bit, but what I can tell you right now is it can't be too low. So basically, I think the good sweet spot is between 3 and 4,000 RPM, or mine is set between 3 and 4,000 RPM. I know it's not over 4,000. And pretty much, like, you can set the two-step at which RPM you'd like it at. And pretty much what you're doing is you're revving the car, and I'll explain more about this, but I'll give a little brief summary about how I do it. So let's just say the two-step is set at 3K RPM, right? So I'm gonna rev it at 3K RPM for a little bit, and then basically with the footwork, I'm gonna floor it, which engages the ignition to cut, and then put the clutch in immediately. Hit the gas. So right when you pass the 3,000 RPM marker, you hit it right at that moment, okay? Hold it. So right as you pass it, you let go. Like, you guys are seeing it, right? So I'll show you guys in the video because I'm really not sure on how I do it. I just do it, I don't know, it just comes naturally to me when I do it now. So I'll show you guys the footwork as I do it. But yeah, that's a little brief summary about the watt box. I recommend getting it. Like I said, I do not use the two-step because, it can cause havoc on timing components. And, cutting the ignition and spitting flames is really cool. And based on my experience, there hasn't really been any issues regarding that. It just cuts ignition, and then when it cuts ignition, it stops, and then fuel is still going because it doesn't cut fuel. And then basically how it spits a flame is when it cuts the ignition, the fuel keeps spraying, and then when it turns right back on, the fuel just boom, there's a big boom, and that's how you get the flame. So that's pretty much a little bit of an explanation as to how it spits flames. I'm not sure on this foot method between every single car, but I know for the Cobras it works. But yeah. Okay guys, so before I continue any further with the video, I want to show you guys my settings. Now, these can be changed according to what you want, but what's worked best for me is anywhere between, like I said, 3,000 and 4,000 is good for how I want it to spit flames, and this is where the two-step is set. Now, this will help you when you spit the flames. That's kind of your gauge as to where you're gonna spit the flames. I have spit flames above 3,000 if you hit it at the right point, but in this application, let's just say you use 3,000 to 4,000 RPM. So we'll say 3,000 because that's what we use in the video. This is all changeable, but I'll show you guys some of the settings because this is how like sensitive your gas and clutch pedal is gonna be. So I have auto no lift shift on. TPS threshold is at 355. TPS down here is at 0.94, and everything else you guys can see is set right there. So you guys can take a screenshot of this, and when you guys have the watt box set up, you guys can use these same settings and essentially spit flames in the same way and same nature that I do. So just want to show you guys that, and that'll help you guys in the next step. Alright guys, so now I'm going to show you guys how to exactly spit the flames that I do on the Cobra. So I already gave you guys a little brief description about how the two-step works and whatnot. So essentially, I'll do a little recap because it's been a little bit. Pretty much what the watt box does, like I said, it cuts the ignition, and you have different sensors that are plugged into the gas pedal and the clutch pedal. It's pretty much connected through here. Can maybe do another video on that, maybe on It's Just 2-valve Mustang for the watt box, because it's pretty much the same concept. But so I want to show you guys the footwork. I'll show you the settings too. I probably should have already showed you the settings by now. So you guys already have your settings preset on the watt box, which is programmed through here. Mine happens to be in my glove box. It's right there. It's programmed right there. Sorry, there's a lot of train. So, let me get a little flashlight, yeah. So, as you can see, my dusty slippers. Okay, so, pretty much, my two-step is set at 3,000 RPM, okay? So, 3,000 RPM is where you're gonna wanna shoot the flames and initiate the foot method. So, when you guys you have my settings set up the way it is, everything's plugged in, you're gonna rev it a little bit up to right at where it's set. So, we're set at 3,000 RPM, so revving at 3,000 RPM. And when you floor it, that's when you put the clutch in and let go of the gas, okay? I'll show you guys in a little bit in real time. But pretty much the concept is when you floor the gas pedal, your watt box is telling the signal that it's ready to cut ignition whenever you put the clutch in, okay? So when you're revving it at 3,000 RPM, you have right there, you floor it and then put the clutch in right after that, and it cuts the ignition at that same exact moment. It's more of a feel thing, but I'll show you guys in real time. We're gonna do it here shortly. But I just want to give you guys a brief description of how it kind of works before you guys put it to the test. So that's first step. Yeah. Okay guys, so one thing also, when you guys are trying to spit the flames, your car needs to be completely warmed up, like fully warmed up. Yeah, you need to warm up your car. So make sure it's at full operating temperature and you'll be able to spit some flames. Alright guys, so we made it to the spot. You definitely don't want to do this in an area where it's like people would hear, because people can mistake it for a gunshot, to be honest. But I'm going to have Tyson recording from the back, and I'm going to have my GoPro recording down here. So we'll get that rolling right now. Okay, so pretty much you guys are going to have it set at 3,000 RPM, okay? So I'm going to rev. So hit the gas. So right when you pass the 3,000 RPM marker, you hit it right at that moment, okay? So right as you pass it, you let go. Like, you guys are seeing it, right? So that one hurt. What's up? That one hurt. Yeah. So you guys can see. And that's how you guys do it. So we'll replay that, and I think we're good. Yeah. Alright guys, so we're gonna conclude the how to spit flames on your 99 to 04 Mustang. I mean, this kind of applies to any cars, because even the newer cars, like the newer 5.0s and the
any Mustang application, I think this should work. Pretty much to recap, what's happening is you basically, when you push in the gas pedal, it knows that when you push in the clutch to send the signal to cut it. And so what we're doing is we're just intercepting that signal to pause the engine for a second, but the fuel is still spraying at the same time. Now, if you get something that cuts the fuel, that's not safe. You want something that cuts the ignition, because then your engine really doesn't lean out. So cutting the ignition is a lot safer to spit flames. And based on some of the footage you guys have just seen, when you hit the gas, you hit the clutch in, and the footwork is there. I don't really know how I do it. It's mainly just a feel thing. So over time, you guys will kind of learn how to do it. But with that being said, if you guys like these videos, please consider like and subscribing. Please hit the post notification bell, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.